What's up, my dude? How you doing?
Good. I'm doing real good. And needless to say, my mind is blown.
Absolutely, and this night definitely deems it so. Hello, everybody. This is another episode coming at you with the Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye. And as you know, and as you've seen while you clicked on this video, we're doing another spoiler episode of Moon Knight Chapter Episode 4. So, and needless to say, this is my personal favorite episode so far. And
mine as well.
Man, we have 2 more episodes left. I after this one, I don't know how they can really top it, to be honest, but hey, I welcome the challenge, as you should.
Yeah, absolutely. I welcome all challengers.
Yes. That's how you should charge at life, because then if you don't do it, you don't challenge yourself. What are you even doing? I just don't know. Maybe you need to look at yourself.
Oh my god.
It's like just wow. It's almost like when they use the Thor Ragnarok meme where Thor's just doing the face like, is he though? It's like, man, that got used for everything. Anyways, before we dive into the spoilers, guys, as always, leave us a like. Get some subscriptions for us. I can't talk right now. I'm sorry. And ring the bell. We always appreciate the viewings and you guys' attention. And again, any comments you guys want to make, leave them down there so we can keep the conversation rolling. But what do you say, Burn? Shall we get started?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to go. I'm so excited to talk about this.
Yeah. So the beginning of this show it's pretty crazy. Like, I didn't realize that the Egyptian gods suck, man. I did not realize how many gods they've imprisoned, but it's like, they have a whole room full of them. It's like, man, you guys are just petty bitches. Yeah,
they got a nice little display, like they display like their hot toys or something. They just have one with the candles and the lighting, and it's like, it's a nice little collection of previous gods that for whatever reason have been in prison. And it's like, it begs the question, like, is there a little bit of like a power shift or like a struggle going on, or like, why were these other gods, like, what did they do to warrant being trapped in stone? It's like, I'm very curious to know, like, what their deal is, because I think there's more than meets the eye with the Egyptian gods that we've seen, at least.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I love that this episode I felt like had the most. I was really trying to put this into words, or like think about it. Like, each MCU show so far has really leaned into a theme, like the Scarlet Witch being like sitcom-y and comedic and stuff with some magic thrown in there. Mm-hmm. Falcon Winter Soldier was very political thriller-esque, action spy thriller. Loki, sci-fi, time traveling shenanigans. Yeah. Hawkeye, Christmas, themed comedy. This one has a mix of almost everything in it, especially this episode alone. And I think that's why I was really like entertained by this. Like, the beginning we have of almost very reminiscent of The Mummy, more so I think than ever, with the whole action scene in the desert where what's the wife's name again? I'm sorry.
Layla.
Where Layla just saves them both by throwing the flare into the truck with the bullets. I was like, would that work? I don't care. It's entertaining. That worked for me.
Yeah, she made real good use of that flare. Like, they should call her flare woman, because she uses it now and then, and another time later on, I was like, wow, she's really making good use of these things.
I mean, that was just a very tactical decision. Like, again, seeing the flare, like, okay, follow this, almost like Jurassic Park, and then they're distracted by it and throws the other one, and I was like, oh shit, that's smart. I like her. That's my star right there. And then the rest of the episode proceeded like as an adventure, which I thought was really well done, very Indiana Jones themed. Kind of reminded me of almost like how the second episode was like that a little bit, but this one just, again, the best one so far. And I like that we're kind of seeing a not so pure side of Steven a little bit, where he's being a little selfish and like trying to get rid of Mark. And she was like, whoa, like I love that she called him out. It's like, okay, you guys made this decision. Like, what about me? Like, he's still my husband. Like, that's not how this works. And he's like, oh, well, I mean, I just thought it was kind of funny, but I'm like, wow, Steven, you bastard! How dare you?
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, that relationship, at least, because like, she's essentially in a relationship with two different people, because it's like they're very distinct personalities, and they each have their own, you know, wants and needs and like motivations and stuff for doing whatever it is that they do. So yeah, like to see that sort of struggle between the two for, you know, basic for the body essentially. I'm really liking that dynamic now that, you know, Khonshu's out of the picture, at least, you know, temporarily. It's interesting, like you said, to see that to see like how each character is like trying to fight for, you know, whatever they're doing. It's like, it's really cool to see, and I think Oscar Isaac again continues to do a really good job on the acting front, distinguishing the two.
I think this is the best acting I've seen so far. Just because the way the rest of the episode played out, I was like, wow, this is just tremendous. Like, how if this doesn't get nominated alone for Oscar Isaac, it's like, wow, you guys are just completely overlooking his talents. Especially like I like when they find the tomb and Mark is threatening him like, hey, stop going after my wife. Like, she's still, like, I still love her. And he's like, well, what are you going to do about it? I mean, you can't, what are you going to do, kill us? He's like, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'll throw us off a cliff. You little
throw us off a cliff.
So I thought that was a good little bit of comedy, but I thought that was interesting that how we've been talking that Steven is, like, essentially another personality that Mark wanted to be for Layla. And now Layla's starting to see it, and their kiss is like, I thought it was going to be a thing where she's like, nah, it's not the same. You're not Mark. But no, I mean, it kind of still is. It's a very, very complex idea that it is one body, but it's two different people, but she's in love with both of them, kind of.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really well done.
And that kiss it was so awkward.
I thought so too. That's what I was saying. I thought she was going to be like, yeah, I'm good. But no,
yeah, you can tell, like, Steven has never kissed anybody before.
You know, he's just that lovable nerd, man. He hasn't had the experience, but it's like, you know what, Steven? I get it. I know why you're being selfish. I don't blame you, but it's like, don't.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. I'm like, let's not get rid of her husband completely, you know, like that, or else you're a murderer. But let's see. But the rest of the episode was crazy with the tomb. That whole mummy scene was like, what the fuck am I watching? How did this go to horror?
Yeah, it took like you said, the way that the show's been sort of like weaving into sort of different like tones and different inspirations. Like this one, like you said, it was a lot of like horror elements here, and very very inspired by the Mummy. But I don't know how they got away with that basically that disemboweling scene on the altar. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really intense for anything on Disney. Like what rating is this show? Like, I know it's TV-14, but it's like, how is this not like rated R?
I wouldn't want my kids to watch, like age 7 watching this. Like, hey, what are you looking at? No, this guy's guts are getting taken out. No, stop it! Turn it off! But it was just horrifying. Like the fact that, you know, they're both just watching this thing just start ripping this dude's guts out. Like, oh no, that's horrifying. And then when Steven discovers the tomb, I thought that, again, another example of set design. Just like, wow,
yeah,
look at the splendor of this room. Like, it does a great job of putting you in that, like, that environment. I thought the way it's shot and the lighting and everything, it really contributes to that feeling of, man, we're in a tomb right now. We're on an adventure. And the fact that it was the tomb of Alexander the Great, I was like, what? That's like an epic historical cameo of itself. Like, what?
And the fact that he was the avatar for Amit, it's like, what? That just like recontextualizes his place within the Marvel universe. It's like, oh, that's cool.
I was like, oh man, is he a dick then? Like, if he's the tool of the avatar of Amit? But I was just crazy. And then Ethan Hawke was just being the traditional villain, trying to poison Layla against Mark and Steven. Mostly Mark, though, but I was like, you little shit. I'm sure that's not the whole story, the way he's spinning it. And it was hilarious that Steven was just basically opening up Alexander's face like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Great. I'm sorry, Mr. Great.
Elbow deep in Alexander.
And he's just like, oh. And it just like sounded gross, too. Like, oh, God, what's
I like Mark's comments, too, as he's doing like, yeah, buddy, get in there. Like encouraging him, but it's also a little bit too sexual. It's like, all right, dude, calm down.
It's like, this is not something to be sexual about. Like, what does the matter with you guys? Oh man, and it was a very well done scene by the actress who plays Layla, where she just comes in all fire and brimstone, like, Mark, what'd you do to my dad? Like, you know the truth, tell it. And Steven just kind of like immediately lets go. Or I mean, I don't know if he let go, but it's like Mark just was able to just seize that body. Like, okay, shit, let's get to this. And I thought that was a very intense scene where he would like it really just messes up the relationship. Like I was like, oh, that's fucked up to find out that he was there at her dad's death, and that's like I was with her on that. Like, so that's why we met. That's why we're together, because you witnessed this. Like our relationship is a lie. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. That's a little fucked up on Mark.
Yeah, and I know we've been, putting a lot of praise on, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke, rightfully so. But I think May Calamaui, like she's, the third part of this of this triangle, this pyramid, this trifecta. But I think she's been doing great work, and she did really good here.
It's like a triangle. This place stop, but their performance is like a big circle.
It just floats.
But just wrap up the circle thing.
But yeah, she's great, and this episode was almost like a showcase for her acting talents too. Because she did such a great job in those two scenes where her and Arthur Harrow are talking across that chasm, and then her confronting Mark. I was like, man, she's knocking it out of the park.
I mean, and we're not even at my favorite part of this episode where Mark comes in and he's just being the hero, being his heroic moment. That's what heroes do. Where he takes out 3 dudes, and Ethan Hawke, like a punk bitch, just shoots him twice, like
double taps.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm no punk bitch. I ain't no punk bitch neither. But oh god, the fact that he shoots him, and that death scene was really cool. Where how it's like he drifts down. And I thought, what? Why is he dead? You can't die. We're 4 episodes in. What about the other 2? How's this gonna work? And I just thought that was a great transition to like my favorite part, where apparently this is all in his fucking mind and he's in a hospital, which was so well done. Just how each person in his life from like the few episodes we've seen, they're all other patients in the hospital.
Yeah,
like Khonshu was like a little drawing. His manager was another just kind of bitchy patient.
The living statue, running the bingo game.
Oh my god, that and exactly doing the same thing, like the same little pose, kind of. And then Layla is with him throughout the whole thing, but she kind of came off sketchy, where she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll give first. We won this. Yeah. I won. I'll share it with you the next time. I promise." Like,
it sounds like she keeps like stealing his winning bingo cards.
She keeps stealing. Like, what a monster.
And then like other cool little callbacks to like things in previous episodes. Like we see like a goldfish, like in a bowl, and then we see like his leg strap. How you're strapped to his chair like he was to the pillar, like in his bed. A lot of again, like this whole section is like a part that you can go like frame by frame and be like, oh, that was in that episode. That was like, I thought it was so well done. It's so cool.
It's a throwback within. It's almost like a throwback within its own show. Like, wow, well done, and because it really made you think. Holy shit! Has this all been in his head? Is this like a Fight Club situation? Because if so, then bravo! Like, well done story wise. But, I thought when he started seeing Ethan Hawke and in that whole little therapy room, and then it started kind of spiraling out of control. Like, nope, this is all bullshit. This can't be real.
Yeah.
And then when he gets into the other room with the sarcophagus, it's like, Steven, you're here. Or I was like, oh shit, we're in his mind, and that makes perfect sense. Like, he's dead, but now he's kind of almost like comatose in his own brain. Like, where you see him first as a vegetable, like his mind is just kind of drifting through. It's like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
Like almost like his own purgatory, like that in-between space between, being alive and completely dead. Like that's at least my interpretation of it so far.
I mean, hence the all white, not only just because he's Moon Knight and it's a hospital, but it's like, dude, the all white space is clearly like, like you said, purgatory. That's a good one. And we see the third sarcophagus, which again, we don't know who the third personality is. We assume it's Jake Lockley, but we'll have to find out next time, hopefully. And the best part is when they're going down the hallway, they walk into this giant hippo god, and she's just I thought it was gonna be like a like roar in their face,
Like a real deep
just,
voice, yeah.
yeah, it was just hi. I thought that was the best part to end this on, just like a crazy feeling on a crazy episode. Like, it was so well done, dude. I'm gonna definitely rewatch this again, just because to experience that whole scene all over.
It's such a great ride because, again, like I was saying, it's like a flow of different tones. Where, like, in the beginning we have, this action adventure, like tomb crawling, like spot, not a spy thing, but like a mercenary like race to like get to the tomb, and then it goes into horror, and then it goes into like crazy like psychological like horror, the psychological thriller almost, where it's like you're like questioning everything that's come before, and then to weave into the comedy right there with it. It's like those last 10 minutes where you're going from like, is this all in his head, to like, no, this is something even weirder than that. Like, it's just so well done and so well written.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I love this episode so much. Like, it really blended everything so well. It made me question, like, there's no way. Like, I was thinking, like, this makes sense, but there's no way it could be real. It just maybe just that was brilliant on its own.
Yeah, just to make you question it at least for a second, because obviously other properties have done this, where it's like it's all been in their head. They have that episode or that like comic run or something, and obviously it's not. That doesn't tend to be the case because that's a little bit overdone. But yeah, so just to see them like pull the rug out from under you here, only to like pull another one underneath that one, it's like, okay, it's a nice little switcheroo.
Dude, yeah. Like I said, now that we got the last little trimester, the third act to begin next week, man, again, I can't wait again. And we got some more episodes coming at you this week, especially, or maybe not this week, but more entertainment coming out, as we have 2 crazy movies coming out. The Northman, which Burn and I are going to go see soon. And then The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, starring Nick Cage as himself, which is going to be hilarious. So, any of you guys who saw this episode of Moon Knight, let us know in the comments. What was your favorite part? Was there a part that you didn't care for? Where do you want to see this story go for the last 2 episodes? We'd love to know. And as always, stay bodacious, keep on ranting, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and catch y'all later.